I'm Marin, and this is Post-its and Pens.
Parce que je me sentais seule dans ma petite bulle. Je voulais danser, mais je me sentais comme un funambule. Parce que je me sentais seule.
Hello and welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Marin, and here you will find a little beauty, a little books, and a little teaching content. So if that sounds like something you might enjoy, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe and join me in my little corner of YouTube. In today's video, I am going to take you through my October TBR using my random wheel of prompts to generate my book titles. I will also be picking 2 titles from my TBR jar. So let's go ahead and get into the video. So for September, I participated in Becca's Bookoplathon, so I did not do my normal TBR game, if you will. So I'm back to that for this month. I will be spinning the wheel 5 times, and then I will be picking 2 titles from my TBR jar. Now, I have generated a list of spooky themed titles because October is spooky season. So I will be trying to pull books off of that list to fulfill these prompts, but that may not be possible, so we'll just play it by ear. But that's kind of what I have going on for this video. So let's go ahead and go into spin number 1. Okay, spin number 1 is Retelling, and y'all, I know exactly what I'm going to pick for this. So this is a very old e-galley that I got sent. I don't even know how many years ago. 8 years ago. 7, 6, something like that. For this prompt, I am going to be reading the second book in a series. The first book was The Madman's Daughter, but this book is called Her Dark Curiosity. It is written by Megan Shepherd. I will put the cover right here. This is a retelling of The Island of Dr. Moreau. So if you're familiar with that story. So the first book was basically the retelling of that tale, and then now this is a continuation of that first book. So I might be stretching it just slightly, but I believe that this is also a retelling of sorts. So let me go ahead and read you a very brief synopsis. I'm going to only read a tiny bit of it because obviously I want to avoid spoilers. So it says, months have passed since Juliette Moreau returned to civilization after escaping her father's island and the secret she left behind. Now, back in London once more, she is rebuilding the life she once knew and trying to forget Dr. Moreau's horrific legacy, though someone or something hasn't forgotten her. So I am really excited to read this. As I said, it's been on my Kindle forever, y'all. Like, do not leave your e-arcs sitting. Read them when you get them. I am not a good example to follow. But anyway, very excited to read that one, and that will be book number 1 for October. Okay, and now it is time for spin number 2. Okay, this one is color generator, so this one could be interesting since I have a list of books I would really like to read. So let's see what color it works out for me. Oh, okay. So it's a brownish color. I will put a better picture right here for you. Let me see what I can do with that color. Okay. Hopefully I'm not stretching this a little too far, but I'm thinking that the cover of Cemetery Boys, which I will put right here, works for that because there's definitely brown on that cover because of the character's skin tone. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This was one that I was really wanting to read this month, so Maybe I'm stretching it, but anyway, let me go ahead and read the synopsis just in case you're not familiar. So it says, Yadriel has summoned a ghost and now he can't get rid of him. When his traditional Latinx family has problems accepting his gender, Yadriel becomes determined to prove himself a real brujo. With the help of his cousin and best friend Maritza, he performs the ritual himself and then sets out to find the ghost of his murdered cousin and set it free. However, the ghost he summons is actually Julian Diaz, the school's resident bad boy, and Julian is not about to go quietly into death. He's determined to find out what happened and tie up some loose ends before he leaves. Left with no choice, Yadriel agrees to help Julian so that they can both get what they want. But the longer Yadriel spends with Julian, the less he wants to let him leave. So, that is the synopsis. I am really excited. As I mentioned, that was actually one of the ones that I was really hoping I could squeeze on here. So that's perfect. Okay, and now let's do spin number 3. Okay, for this one I got new release, which I don't read a lot of new releases, so let me see what I can do for that. Okay, that took some digging around, but I decided that I would go ahead and go with the October pick for the Literally Dead book club, which is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. So here's the cover. I had kind of forgotten that I was planning on reading the rest of those picks for the book club this year, so that's perfect. This book just came out August 31st, so definitely a new release, and yeah, that one will work for this. It's also kind of still the vibe I'm going for, so let me go ahead and read you a bit of the synopsis. It says, in her quickly gentrifying rural lake town, Jade sees recent events only her encyclopedic knowledge of horror films could have prepared her for. Jade Daniels is an angry, half-Indian outcast with an abusive father, an absent mother, and an entire town that wants nothing to do with her. She lives in her own world, a world in which protection comes from an unusual source. Horror movies, especially the ones where a mass killer seeks revenge on a world that wronged them. And Jade narrates the quirky history of Prufrock as if it is one of those movies. But when blood actually starts to spill into the waters of Indian Lake, she pulls us into her dizzying, encyclopedic mind of blood and mass murderers and predicts exactly how the plot will unfold. So, definitely still the vibe I'm going for, so we'll go ahead and go with that one for pick number 3. Okay, so this one is shortest book, which again, probably not going to help me get a spooky book on there, but let me see what my shortest book is based on Goodreads, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to cheat this one a little bit because the first several books that are my shortest are novellas that I'm not interested in reading, but if I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the 7th book, I have Fangs by Sarah Anderson, which is one of the books that I'm interested in reading, and that one says it has 112 pages. So that's what I'm going to go with. Pick number 4 will be Fangs by Sarah Anderson. I will put the cover right here, and let me go ahead and read you the synopsis. Okay, so it says, a new gothic romance story from the creator of the enormously popular Sarah's Scribbles comics. Vamp is 300 years old, but in all that time, she has never met her match. This all changes one night in a bar when she meets a charming werewolf. Fangs chronicles the humor, sweetness, and awkwardness of meeting someone perfectly suited to you, but also vastly different. So that just sounds like a cute little fun read. I love that it's only 112 pages, not gonna lie. So that will be pick number 4. Okay, and the final pick number 5. Okay, that one was Goodreads Choice Awards nominee. So let me see if any of the ones that I want to read are a Goodreads Choice Award. That would be great. So let's see if I can figure that out. Okay, that was actually really easy because Mexican Gothic, I'll put the cover right here, was the winner for horror. So that was on my list. So that's what we're going to go with. So book number 5 will be Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I will read you a quick synopsis. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. This one's a long synopsis, but it says, after receiving a frantic letter from her newlywed cousin begging for someone to save her from a mysterious doom, Noemi Toboda, oh my, I'm sorry, Toboda heads to High Place, a distant house in the Mexican countryside. She's not sure what she will find. Her cousin's husband, a handsome Englishman, is a stranger, and Noemi knows little about the region. Noemi is also an unlikely rescuer. She's a glamorous debutante, and her chic gowns and perfect red lipstick are more suited for cocktail parties than amateur sleuthing. But she's also tough and smart with an indomitable will, and she is not afraid. Not of her cousin's new husband, who is both menacing and alluring, not of his father, the ancient patriarch, who seems to be fascinated by Noemi, and not even of the house itself, which begins to invade Noemi's dreams with visions of blood and doom. So, that is going to be pick number 5 for my spooky reads. I'm glad I was able to get spooky reads for all of the picks, and I am very excited to read Mexican Gothic. I know that it's gotten really good reviews. I know a lot of people really love it, so yeah, I'm excited to give it a go and see what I think. Okay, now as always, I am going to go ahead and end with 2 picks from my TBR jar, and then I will go into other books that I'm hoping to read next month. So here we go. Let's do this one. Oh, okay. So this one is Storybound. I believe this is on my Kindle. I can't remember the author though, so let me look up the information. Okay, this one was written by Marissa Burt. I'm just going to go ahead, I'll put the cover right here, and then I will read you the synopsis. It says, in the land of story, children go to school to learn to be characters. A perfect hero, a trusty sidekick, even the most dastardly villain. They take classes on outdoor experiential questing and backstory, while adults search for full-time character work in stories written just for them. In our world, 12-year-old Una Fairchild has always felt invisible, but all that changes when she stumbles upon a mysterious book buried deep in the basement of her school library, opens the cover, and suddenly finds herself transported to the magical land of story. But story is not a perfect fairy tale. Una's new friend Peter warns her about the grave danger she could face if anyone discovers her true identity. The devious talekeeper watches her every move, and there are whispers of a deadly secret that seems to revolve around Una herself. So, that one is on my Kindle. This one came out in 2012. I think I got it as like a Kindle deal at the time, like a 99-cent deal. So yeah, that will be book number 6 for October. Okay, and we will do the final TBR jar pick. So here we go. Okay, and this one is Once We Were. I think this is a sequel. I'm almost positive. Let me look this one up and I will give you the cover, the author, and the synopsis. Okay, yes, this was the one I was thinking of. So this is a sequel. This one is Once We Were by Kat Zhang. I'll put the cover right here. This is the second book in the Hybrid Chronicles series. The first book, I can't remember the name. Oh, the first book is What's Left of Me, which I read, oh my gosh, y'all, so many years ago. I hope there's some kind of recap because I don't remember a ton about it. I think this is a world where you're born with like 2 people living inside you, and as time goes on, one becomes the dominant personality. I'm almost positive. And if that doesn't happen, you're put somewhere to kind of force it to happen. But the girls in the story who are inside the same body obviously didn't want that to happen because it essentially means that one of them would die. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's what this was about. But let me just read you the synopsis for the first one rather than the second one. That way we won't have spoilers. Yeah, that's exact. Okay. So it says, I should not exist, but I do. Ava and Addie started out the same way as everyone else. Two souls woven together in one body, taking turns controlling their movements as they learned how to walk, how to sing, how to dance. But as they grew, so did the worried whispers. Why aren't they settling? Why isn't one of them fading? The doctors ran tests, the neighbors shied away, and their parents begged for more time. Finally, Addie was pronounced healthy and Ava was declared gone, except she wasn't. For the past 3 years, Ava has clung to the remnants of her life. Only Addie knows she's still there, trapped inside their body. Then one day they discover there may be a way for Ava to move again. The risks are unimaginable. Hybrids are considered a threat to society, so if they are caught, Addie and Ava will be locked away with the others. And yet, for a chance to smile, to twirl, to speak, Ava will do anything. So that is the first book, which is called What's Left of Me. I'll put that cover right here. I'm going to be reading the second book in that series. So I do, now that I read that synopsis, vaguely remember a little about that book. I don't even know if I remember how it ends. Hopefully I can find like a summary of it online. Sometimes Recaptains has old books that came out years ago. This one came out in 2012, so maybe they've got the synopsis for that one so I can refresh my memory before I read the second one. But that will be the last TBR jar pick for October. Okay, now unfortunately I was not able to fit any of the 3 books off of my 21 books to read in 2021 list that I was wanting to squeeze on, so I'm gonna try to read them as well in October. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about them very, very quickly. I did a full synopsis for all 3 of these in my 21 books to read in 2021 video, which I'll link up in the cards in case you would like to check it out. So I'm just going to tell you the titles and I will flash their cover right here. So the first one that I was wanting to read is I Hunt Killers by Barry Lyga. It is kind of horror mystery thriller, so it's got the vibes I'm looking for, and it's been on my Kindle for a super long time, so hoping I can read that one. The second one is a nonfiction book. It is One Last Strike by Tony La Russa. It details the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals World Series win and kind of the postseason lead up to that. I'll put the cover right here. I am a huge St. Louis Cardinals fan, so I really want to give that one a read. It's kind of October-ish because that's when the postseason happens for baseball, so I figured that one kind of fit as well. That one is available on audio, so I know that I can listen to that one. And then the last book that I really wanted to fit in is Columbine by Dave Cullen. I will put the picture right here. And it is a look at the Columbine shooting that happened back in 1999, I believe. So that is the 3 books off of that list that I wanted to read this month because I still have 9 or 12 books to read. I was having to do 3 books for the remainder of the year, so I must still have 9 books left. And yeah, need to make sure I'm reading that so that I do not fall behind. And that is the end of my October TBR. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more from me, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, everyone.
T'es arrivé, t'as soufflé sur mon visage comme une brise légère d'été.